Hi everybody, I'm Gavin and this is the British Bookworm. So if you are new to my channel, basically I review books that I am reading on a vast array of subjects. My passions are fitness training, so my focus is heavily on that usually, and martial arts, which is the vast majority of my time is spent on that, but also climate change, religion, and other topics, philosophy, psychology. So basically I'm here to review and educate myself. In all the videos you see on YouTube, most of the time you get guys doing really slick YouTube videos that have come across like expertise, but you don't see anybody out there, that I don't see anybody out there anyway, that's doing videos that shows their progressive journey of personal edification and education. So currently I've got to about 400 of those 1,000 books. Many years ago I set a target to read 100 books in a year. That took 4 years. Over the course of my life I've been a massive reader, and I've educated myself on a vast array of subjects just due to the fact that when I was younger I realised how little I knew in my 20s, how many lies that society, mainstream institutions had taught me about World War I, Vietnam, 9/11, all these different things. So from personal education of watching lectures on religion, lectures on science, lectures on documentaries on religion, studying martial arts, studying anatomy and physiology of training methodologies. So I've spent an astronomical amount of time learning about things. So that is why this channel exists, because I want to put reviews on books and discuss to some degree, hopefully in an interesting way, for you, some of my thoughts and learnings and feelings on those topics. I've got a very small number of books on here at the present time. I can't possibly catch up with the 400 books reviews at the moment, and I've also I feel personally I want to read or reread these books before I do a like up-to-date review. So the book I'm reviewing today is possibly one of my possibly one of my most favourite teachers in the world on martial arts, and that guy is, or the book is, MMA Mastery, Ground and Pound. Now this book I have had for a very long time. Now I have all his books bar a couple in his series, and to me, as a person who studied martial arts more than most people out there, I've spent an astronomical amount of time studying martial arts. I really can say that safely compared to the average person. But this one, and Mark Hatmaker, is hands down one of the best teachers in the world. He really is. But this book is going to be one of my go-to books for the self-defense and MMA, because it has some foundational training methods, movements I should say, and positions in it that are set up for the MMA scene, and to some degree self-defense. But it's much more down to the sport version of MMA. But as I keep going to stress it, it's very applicable to self-defense, which is the thing that I'm most interested in. I'm not so much interested in sports and showmanship. I want something that I believe will really work. So this book is basically how to set your position up, ground, which calls it ground and pound. So he talks about ground positions, so positions that are not static but are positions of destination, as he puts it. And he has some methodologies in it which will really vastly improve your ground game. But there's key sections within it. I am personally doing something with this book which I will share with you. I am reading this now for 40 days, for my second series of 40 days, on top of all the other times I've read it over the many years since I've had it. And basically from that I'm going to implant every single technique in my head And so when I train, I'm going to have every single technique in my head verbatim already there, and every nuance of that technique implanted in my brain intellectually. So that's how I work. So I'm on day 16 of 40 days for my second, which is there, and my first round of 40 days is there. Now, Mark Hatmaker, I'm going to introduce this is a bit better another time, but I'm going to give this book definitely a 5 out of 5. I like how simple it is. Many of Mark Hatmaker's books, my very first book that I bought of Mark Hatmaker, which I will do a review on, I didn't read it for years. It was on my bookshelf. I think I had a couple of them out on my bookshelf, and I bought them because they were cheap from Waterstones, if I remember. And I didn't read them. I read all the books. And then one day I read it, and I didn't read it because of the layout of the books. You just have a couple of pictures and a bit of description at the bottom. Okay? And so I didn't read it because I thought it was a bit too simple. But once I read it, I was like, why have I never read this guy? The content, the book content is so good, and all of his books are second to none. I've literally bought a copy of each one again because I've worn out all the other original copies, or many, not all of them, but quite a few of them, because I've read them so long and I've had them so many years. So these books, the series, if you're a serious martial artist, I highly recommend them. The training methodologies and training ideas and concepts that Mark Hatmaker has were ahead of his time in the early 2000s, and still are, compared to a lot of martial artists, fighters and self-defense people, even today. So I do think, as a free thinking individual, he has a lot over and a lot on other people. One of the things I'm always really shocked about is how we don't have any of his guys or his technique. He's not the thing that really shocks me is how he's not as well known than someone I've literally studied all the best fighters and trainers in the world, and teachers and coaches. I've really tried to keep on top of that over the years, like, up till recently. And Mark Hatmaker is without doubt the cream of the cream. So if you've never heard of Mark Hatmaker, go to his YouTube, find him on YouTube. But I highly recommend him. I highly recommend him. This book sets out techniques that are very, very simple, but can literally transform your ground game. He's got a concept of bisecting, which I believe is absolutely key, and something called the sternal arrow. Those two techniques of bisecting and sternal arrow will improve your grappling game second to none. And also, some of the key concepts and positions on how to be on top or be on bottom are really significant, and will dramatically improve your ground game if you take the knowledge within it into here and then into the body, into the nervous system. So this guy will really dramatically improve your martial arts. So if you're new to me or you're new to him, you've got a lot to thank me for introducing you to him, because he will literally change your martial art dynamics. I can promise you that one with certainty. Some of his submissions, fighting, boxing bits are brilliant. Some of them are basic, but some of them are just brilliant. And if you master some of these techniques, especially, I believe, this book alone will make you massively improve your martial arts, no matter what level you're at right now, whether you're a professional or someone starting off. If I could have known some of these techniques from my very early days, my journey would have been so much faster if I'd have taken this shit to heart. So if you've liked this video, give me a like and subscribe. It's a bit of a quick one because I've come back from work and I've only really I'm going to start putting videos back on because I've had a few technical issues with my memory cards on the phone. So finally, I've built a new memory card for the videos, and I can transfer them over so I can edit these videos. So Mark Hatmaker gets a 5 out of 5. Anything else I can say about his book? The techniques are streamlined and are practical because you can practice them on a grappling dummy on your own, and the training drills with a partner will really improve your game. His breakdowns from the turtle position are fantastic. The strikes he introduces from for ground and pounding, the key positions that you'll see in all UFC fights, are superb, and his movement drills are superb, and the ideas and concepts of breaking it down from ground to pound. Don't pound before you ground, like martial arts position before submission. It's similar, but another thing that Mark Hatmaker really pushes, which I don't understand why I don't really see many martial artists do this, is use the man, not the mat. That's extremely important. Use the man, not the mat. They don't train it in jiu-jitsu in the same way as like classical wrestling, and that's a bit of a difference. There's a bit of a difference there in the Mark Hatmaker's world. You don't put your knee or your elbow on the mat. You've only got 3 points of contact: your chest on the man and your toes on the ground. So if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe. It's a bit quick and short because I've got back from work and I've got other things going on, and I didn't even use my specially bought book holder, so that was a bit of a bummer, wasn't it? So I specially bought that for my book reviews. Anyway, I've got a ton of books to put on. I've got one that's going to take. It's really want to do a good job of it. So I'm hopefully you feel the vibe on this one. I'm studying the crap out of this one the second time because it is that good, on top of all the years of me reading it over and over again. So by the time I have got to my 40 days on this second round of 40 days, every single technique in this book is going to be in here without a second question. I'm never going to forget any of the techniques for the rest of my life. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you later.